Hi everyone, Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Monday morning. Not a bad weekend out there. Getting a little bit on the cooler side today. Going to be much different though. Hot and humid out there, setting the stage for potential severe weather as we head into this afternoon and into this evening across parts of eastern Nebraska. But by no means do I think that severe weather threat is signed and a done deal. I think, and I'm pretty on the fence as to whether or not we're going to see storms here in Lincoln. I certainly think the threat is going to be much greater as you head to the east. So we're going to talk that through, break that down here in the next few minutes. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. First, as always, kind of starting off, look at the numbers from yesterday. Lincoln Weather Almanac for Lincoln, 67.54. Again, that temperature in the afternoon, right about where it should be. The low yesterday morning, though, awfully mild, only 54 degrees. And again, for the month, again, just a couple days left in the month and still sitting at about $1.30 for our rainfall here in Lincoln, which again is below normal and still almost about 3 inches below normal for the year in terms of our rainfall. So again, really would like to see some moisture. Again, we'd like to see it without the threat for severe weather, but this time of year you generally don't get one without the other. So you take a look at the weather headlines. Again, the big thing is going to be the threat, the potential for severe storms as we head through the day today. There's a lot of the ingredients that we look for when it comes to severe weather in ample amounts across the, not just here, but across much of the Midwest. But again, the big question for us here is when is that cap going to break, and how fast does that front move through? Because that's going to be the big key and the big driver in our chance to see those severe storms today. So big thing is going to be the severe weather threat today. Behind that front, we're going to see cooler and drier weather as we head into the day on Tuesday, but then we will look for at least another chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Right now it doesn't look like severe weather, but chances for rain Wednesday and then again into the day on your Thursday. Take a look at these low temperatures today. Again, if you've been out and about early this morning, you've already felt the increased humidity. Dew points are well into the 60s across the eastern half of the state, so our low temperatures didn't drop too much. Lows for the eastern half of the state mainly in the 60s, 30s and 40s as you head across western sections of the state. Low temperatures across the Lincoln Metro generally sitting in the mid 60s early this morning. And right now, Skyview cameras from across the state, again, eastern half of the state with some of the increased humidity kind of socked in with some cloud cover. Western Nebraska dealing with more sunshine as we start our Monday. So here in Lincoln, again, cloudy skies, temperatures already in the low 70s this morning. Strong south breeze gusting up to around 40 miles an hour, and that dew point up into the mid 60s. So again, obviously one of the things that we really need for the severe weather potential is the moisture. We have plenty of that out there today as strong southerly winds has pulled that moisture northward. So again, we're seeing those dew point temperatures well into the 60s across the eastern sections of the state. So temperatures on the Lincoln Tempest stations already this morning, again, generally sitting in the low 70s, for much of the eastern half of the state, getting into the 50s and 60s as you head across the western sections of the state. Those dew point numbers, like I mentioned, well into the 60s for the eastern third of the state, so it is a bit on the muggy side as we start off the work week. Much drier air will filter into the area as we head behind that front this evening and into the day tomorrow. So again, just a short burst of dealing with some of the increased dew points before we see them kind of retreat back to where they've been over the past several days. Winds, again, out ahead of that front, out of the south, and they're strong. Sustained 15 to 25, 15 to 30 miles an hour. Behind that front, again, winds out of the west, northwest, and again, not quite as strong. Winds gusting, again, ahead of the front between 25, 35, up to around 40 miles an hour. So you look at the satellite radar, again, we do have some sort of prefrontal showers, isolated rumbles of thunder beginning to kind of creep into parts of southeastern Nebraska. Seen a few raindrops move through here, the Lincoln Metro, over the course of the last hour or so, but again, nothing meaningful. And again, this is not the severe potential that we'll be looking for later this morning into the afternoon. Again, this is just some prefrontal showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder out there. That threat for stronger storms will begin to tick up as we head through the morning into the early parts of the afternoon. Again, this isn't necessarily going to be a late afternoon, early evening event. I think this would be kind of potentially late morning through the mid to late afternoon event before that threat then kind of shifts off to the east and then off to the northeast late this afternoon, then into this evening. But at least for right now, things are pretty quiet across much of the state. Again, do have some showers. They're moving into parts of far southeastern Nebraska. So again, Beatrice has seen a little bit of rain. Again, folks in Johnson, Pawnee, County, Nemaha, Richardson County could see a little bit of this activity kind of swing through as we head over the next hour or two. But again, this would just be a kind of a quick hitting light rain shower, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder mixed in there as well. We zoom out, look at a regional view. A lot of activity off to our north, showers, isolated thunderstorms, even some snow ongoing across parts of the higher elevations there in Wyoming. Do only have one severe thunderstorm warning that's currently on the board. That's across parts of northeastern Iowa. You zoom out, look at a national view. Overall, for the most part, things are quiet for most of the country. Most of the active weather is going to be right here in the Central Plains and in the Midwest as we head through the day today. Weather alerts, not a whole lot right now. We do have a red flag warning that's in place for parts of south central Nebraska, including Lancaster County. That's going to run from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock this afternoon. Again, as that front moves through, as that dry line moves through, those dew points will fall pretty quickly. And again, with the dry and breezy conditions, again, that could lead to some elevated fire danger. Again, we'll likely see a severe thunderstorm watch, tornado watch issued at some point later this morning, early this afternoon for some parts of eastern Nebraska and then into parts of western Iowa. So again, kind of starting wide, looking at the wide regional view as we check out Skycast. Through the morning, we're expecting to see pretty cloudy conditions with, again, maybe hit and miss, quick hitting showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder. But really quickly, what we'll see is skies are going to clear out from west to east as kind of the dry line begins to kind of surge across the area. Again, that cloud cover only reaches right now to about Grand Island. Again, points west of there are seeing clear skies. So if you run you through Skycast through the morning, dealing with some of that cloud cover, some of those scattered showers, and then we're going to kind of have two boundaries move through. One's going to be the dry line, then one's going to be the cold front. And so this afternoon, that's where we're going to look for the development, both along the dry line and along the cold front. And if we can get those storms to develop, and that's a big, if right now at this point, atmosphere is still kind of capped. Can we break through that cap? But if we can break through that cap, thunderstorms will develop extremely quickly. They'll see some pretty explosive development with some of those thunderstorms because the atmosphere is so juiced. Again, it's kind of like shaking a can of soda and then opening the lid. Kind of just explodes all over the place. But again, the big thing is, are we going to be able to open that lid today? And again, where exactly is that going to happen? So this is noon right now. Our in-house model doesn't have much. If you go forward in time, once you get to maybe early mid-afternoon, that's when we start to see those storms finally begin to fire along that frontal boundary, stretching from points in western Iowa back into extreme southeastern Nebraska. So again, that's going to be the big question mark, is where do we see these storms fire? If they fire right on top of us here in Lincoln, we could see a really brief window where we do see some stronger thunderstorms. Most, if not all, of the short-term convective allowing models that I've looked at over the past day or so haven't really developed these storms until it gets to the east of Lincoln. That could change. Again, Mother Nature is going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. But at this point, again, it's either going to be, I think, either right on top of us in eastern Nebraska, or it's going to be east of us, almost right on top of the Missouri River, the Nebraska-Iowa border, points into extreme parts of southeastern Nebraska. So again, if that's the case, there's going to be a really narrow window for anyone here in the 10-11 coverage area to see that threat for severe thunderstorms into the afternoon, into the late afternoon hours, because after that, again, storms quickly move out to the east and northeast. By 10 o'clock tonight, that cold front moves through, winds are swung around to the north, dew points are dropping. Again, that threat for severe weather is basically over and done with. And then as you head into the day on Tuesday, again, it's much drier, it's much cooler. Again, then that severe weather threat is over and done with. We're dealing with sunny skies and overall actually pretty pleasant conditions, I think, into the day tomorrow behind that front. But again, that's going to be the big question, is where can we see those storms fire? And right now, the best threat, highest threat for severe weather is going to be for areas to our east. Again, the severe weather outlook for the day today has a moderate risk. That's 4 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. So again, that's indicative of the potential for severe weather outbreak, potentially some strong, intense tornadoes. And right now, that's going to be across parts of southern Minnesota into western Wisconsin, and then across north central, northeastern Iowa. That's where that moderate risk is. So again, folks in Minneapolis, and then into southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, western Wisconsin. So again, friends, family in that area want to make sure that they kind of have their severe weather plan ready to go. Then an enhanced risk for severe weather Again, 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Again, meaning sort of numerous severe thunderstorms possible. Again, you could see some strong tornadoes. You could see some really large hail. Again, we had that enhanced risk a couple days ago when we had that really large hail across Fremont, parts of eastern Nebraska. Had a couple tornadoes track across parts of eastern Nebraska, including just to the east of Lincoln and parts of Cass County. That enhanced risk area again basically covers extreme eastern, extreme southeastern Nebraska, parts of northeastern Kansas, northern Missouri, most of Iowa, most of Wisconsin, and again a good chunk of Minnesota. Technically here in Nebraska, Lincoln, Lancaster County under that slight risk for severe weather. Again, points directly to our south, to our north under that slight risk, and then you can see again it drops off pretty quickly. Tri-Cities not expecting really anything for severe weather through the day today. North Platte, south central, southwestern Nebraska, not expecting any severe weather today. Again, the northern third of the state and then extreme eastern Nebraska is where we're kind of seeing that at least potential for a few stronger thunderstorms as we head into late this morning into the afternoon time frame. So again, the big question will be where storms fire along that boundary. Right now, I believe the current thinking from the folks at the Storm Prediction Center is it's going to be, again, almost right on top of us here in Lincoln. And then as those storms move to the east, they're going to develop extremely rapidly, and that's why you have that enhanced risk then just off to our east, again across Omaha, down towards Nebraska City, down towards Falls City. So again, if you're in those areas in extreme eastern Nebraska, I think that's going to be the area that has the highest threat for severe storms as we head through the day today. So again, here in Lincoln, I think there's a chance. I think it's a pretty narrow corridor. Again, every model that I've looked at so far today has storms either popping up kind of on top of us or just to the east of us. So again, I'm not entirely sold that we could even see storms today. I think the chance, again, if you're just talking in terms of pure chance that Lincoln sees thunderstorms this afternoon, probably about 30%. So again, probably better chances that we don't see anything than that we see something. So, but again, points to the east of us, I think certainly have a higher chance. As far as the severe weather threats, again, there is a low to medium threat for tornadoes for, again, far eastern Nebraska. Highest chance for that is going to be, again, across the upper Midwest. Again, Minnesota, where that moderate risk is. Again, I think they have a high threat for tornadoes, and they have the potential today with all the ingredients that are there for potentially some strong to intense tornadoes across those areas. In terms of the wind threat, again, it's on the lower side, but again, winds gusting 60, 70, maybe 75 miles an hour, not out of the realm of possibility. And then we're also going to look for the threat for some large hail. And again, I think that would probably be our primary threat here in Nebraska. As storms develop, they're going to develop pretty quickly, pretty rapidly. It'll be pretty intense development. And so again, one of our hazards that we see first as storms develop like that is some large hail. So again, hail 2-3 inches in diameter, maybe even larger, can't be ruled out with some of those stronger storms that do develop across the area. Certainly, I think probably better chances for points to the east over the border into Iowa for some of that more significant hail, because I think that's where the better chances for the severe storms will be. But again, we at least have that chance. I think it's a low-end chance, but that chance here in eastern Nebraska. As you head into the day tomorrow, that severe weather threat then kind of shifts off to our south and east as the upper level system, surface trough, continues to push off to the east out of the area. So again, enhanced slight marginal risk stretching from, again, the Great Lakes down through parts of southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, into Oklahoma and Texas. And then into the day on Wednesday, there is a marginal risk down to our south across parts of Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas, but no severe weather expected for us here in Nebraska either Tuesday or Wednesday. So if we zoom in, closer look, statewide view, and try and break this down a little bit on the timing, this is our in-house model, the graph model. And again, I think it's doing a pretty decent job. Again, I think it's got, real-world conditions by 10 o'clock, dealing with that cloud cover across the eastern third of the state, some hit and miss, kind of scattered showers across the area between 10 and noon. What we see is that cloud cover kind of clear from west to east. It keeps us generally dry, though, between now and the noon time frame. Again, you can still see Lincoln dealing with those strong southerly winds, though, as we head into this afternoon. And then as we slowly move forward in time as we head through this afternoon, you look at 1 o'clock, still doesn't have any storm development. You go forward in time, 2 o'clock begins to kind of creep some cloud cover and some storms into the area. We can kind of see stretching from kind of up near Tacoma down into Lincoln, Lancaster County, back down towards Fairbury. That's going to be that boundary that we're going to be watching. So it starts to we can see some of that cumulus development. We can even see a few blips kind of starting to develop there on the radar as well. So again, that's going to be the big question, was where those storms begin to develop. They develop right on top of us. We're going to have an extremely narrow window where we have the threat for a few stronger storms. That's 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, 3 o'clock, you can kind of still see some of that activity. You move forward in time, again, towards 4 o'clock. We can start to see some additional storms beginning to pop up and fire down across parts of northeastern Kansas. And then by 5 o'clock this evening, that's when we could really see some of that activity begin to get going in earnest. But again, by this time, it's already east of the area. Again, folks still from Omaha down towards Falls City, down into our northern Kansas counties, though, could see some of those strong to severe thunderstorms. As you head past 5 o'clock, again, I think that activity is basically quickly moves out of the area, and our chance for really anything by that time is done with. So that's our in-house model. If I punch up and we look at the rapid refresh model, another short-term convective model that we like to use, again, it's showing a fairly similar solution to that. If I can get it punched up here. Again, 10 a.m., kind of got that cloud cover, a few scattered showers across the eastern sections of the state. And then as you move forward in time, by noon, clouds clear out. It's generally dry. And as you continue to move forward in time, 2 o'clock this afternoon, clear skies, dry conditions, still waiting for that thunderstorm development. 3 o'clock, still waiting. 4 o'clock, still waiting. We're starting to see some of those storms pop up, though, across parts of northwestern Iowa along that boundary. And then as you continue to move forward, 5 o'clock, still nothing. 6 o'clock begins to fire some of those storms, again, in extreme southeastern Nebraska, Richardson County, Nemaha County, in areas points to our south and to our east. 7 o'clock, again, you can see those strong thunderstorms still lingering maybe in southeastern Nebraska, but for the most part, it's over the river into parts of Iowa and out of our coverage area. 8 o'clock, again, you can see similar solution. 9 o'clock, it's basically moved out of our coverage area and out of the state. By 10 o'clock tonight, again, still some of those thunderstorms down across parts of northeastern Kansas. But again, really nothing for us here in Lincoln. So again, overall, I think the threat for storms in Lincoln is on the low side. But even though it's on the low side, if we do see thunderstorms, they could be explosive, they could be strong, they could be severe, and it's just, we want folks to be weather aware today. Again, just to at least know that, hey, yeah, there's the threat for storms. If we do see storms, they could be strong, they could produce large hail. There is the threat for tornadoes today. Could see some intense rain. If it popped up and it happened during drive time, 5 o'clock this evening in Lincoln, it would probably have some significant impacts. But again, overall, I think we see a better chance that really we don't see much of anything today here in the capital city and across much of the coverage area. Again, it's extreme eastern, extreme southeastern Nebraska that I think has the best chance for those storms as we head through the day today. Now, in terms of temperatures, again, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid as we head through the day today. Again, like I mentioned, we have all the ingredients for severe weather that are out there. It's just whether or not we can kind of pop the top and break the cap for those thunderstorms to develop as that front moves through. So, again, have plenty of moisture, plenty of instability, plenty of wind shear, all the rest of that. And again, those strong southerly winds pulling in that rich moisture to the area. Again, also pulling in those warm temperatures. So we'll see highs, we think, in the mid to maybe even upper 80s across parts of eastern Nebraska today ahead of that front, including 87 in Lincoln today. But it'll be a little bit cooler as you head further to the west. Low 80s for the Tri-Cities. Don't think they see any severe weather, but it'll still be on the warm side. And then mid 70s in North Platte, and then only into the 60s across parts of the Panhandle this afternoon. Behind that front, low temperatures tonight drop pretty quickly, dropping down 30s in the west, low to mid 40s in the east. We'll go 44 here in Lincoln, 42 in Grand Island, 38 in North Platte tomorrow morning, and then much cooler, but seasonal into the day on Tuesday. Highs in the mid to upper 60s to near 70 degrees. So again, overall, not a bad day tomorrow. Again, I think we'll be dealing maybe with a little bit of a northerly breeze through the day tomorrow, but again, overall, it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad of a day for us. Tuesday into Wednesday morning, we're looking at those lows generally in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. Wednesday afternoon, temperatures warming coming up a few degrees into the upper 60s and low 70s across the state here. In Lincoln, we'll shoot for right around 70 degrees for the day on Wednesday, but mostly cloudy. And again, chance for some rain, I think, as we head through the day on Wednesday. Doesn't look like it's going to be a ton of rain, but again, at least a little bit of moisture can't be ruled out. And then as we start May on Thursday, May Day, again, looks like mid-40s to low to mid-50s for lows to start the day. And then into the afternoon, again, overall fairly seasonal conditions, 60s to right around 70 degrees for high temperatures on Thursday to start off the month of May. Again, small chance for some moisture. Looks like that would be mainly confined to Thursday morning. And then Friday morning, upper 30s to upper 40s for lows. Friday afternoon doesn't look bad, upper 60s, low 70s across the state. And I think generally sunny skies, dry conditions for the day on Friday for us. So again, 7-day forecast in Lincoln. We're just going to go with a 30% chance for thunderstorms today. Again, there is the threat for severe weather. Again, we didn't do a weather alert day. Again, a lot of times we'll do that weather alert day, let folks know when the chance for threatening weather is there, and we've been back and forth over the past couple days. Do we do it? Do we not? And again, just based on everything we've seen over the last 24, 48 hours with where storms could develop, we decided not to do it. So again, just a 30% chance for thunderstorms today in Lincoln. Dry tomorrow, fairly seasonal, should be a nice day, maybe just a little bit breezy. Upper 60s, low 70s then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, chance for some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Doesn't look like severe chances for us Wednesday or Thursday, but again, could see a little bit of rain. And the weekend looks nice, upper 70s. And again, generally dry through the weekend for us. So again, we can get through today without dealing with any severe weather, and maybe then get a little bit of rain Wednesday, Thursday, again, without getting any severe weather. That would be, I think, a pretty good forecast for us. As far as the 10-day forecast for select cities across the state, again, today, by far and away, looks like it's going to be the warmest day over the course of the next week to 10 days. Fairly seasonal temperatures then, I think, through much of this upcoming work week. A little bit above average then into the weekend, into early next week. But again, overall, not too bad. 60s and 70s for the most part as we round out April and head into the first week of May. Precipitation chances, again, they're there today for some, especially for the eastern parts of the state. Another decent chance, I think, Wednesday night into early Thursday. Friday looks mainly dry. Saturday looks mainly dry. And then Sunday into the first half of the week next week. Again, maybe looking a little bit more unsettled, a little bit more active with more rain chances in the forecast. Long-range outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center. This takes us May 5th through May 11th. Again, continuing to favor above-average temperatures across much of the region. Also continues to favor wetter than normal conditions across the state for us as well, which again, we've seen this, but we're still almost 3 inches below normal for our rainfall for the year as a whole. We're still below normal for our rainfall for the month of April as a whole. So again, this is just kind of the signal, the pattern that we could see. It doesn't necessarily mean set in stone. We're going to see wetter than normal conditions across the area. So, but again, the big thing today is that threat for severe weather. That is the thing that we're going to keep a close eye on as we head through this morning into this afternoon. Again, we'll obviously continue to update folks on air, online through the day today with that threat for severe weather. But again, this is the SPC outlook for the day today. Again, has that, marginal, slight enhanced risk across parts of northern, far eastern Nebraska. But again, really that enhanced risk, moderate risk across parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's where most of the threatening weather is going to happen today. A lot of those storms could pop up and develop here in eastern Nebraska, but really quickly they're going to move over the river into parts of Iowa. So again, it's going to be where those storms develop along those boundaries, along that dry line, and along that cold front later this morning, later this afternoon. Again, most of the models, most of the stuff that we've been looking at has storms either popping up, either kind of right along a line that moves through Lincoln and Lancaster County and through eastern Nebraska, or points really just to the east and to the southeast. Again, kind of stretching from Tacoma down towards maybe Nebraska City, Falls City. So again, points to the east. Certainly, I think, have a better chance to see those severe storms today. Certainly, again, across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, they could be dealing with some intense weather today, including the threat for some strong and violent tornadoes. And again, I honestly think there's probably better chances that we really don't see much of anything today. But again, that threat, that chance is there, so I want folks to be aware. I want folks to, again, at least know and kind of have an idea that we could see some storms later this afternoon across parts of eastern Nebraska. So like I mentioned, we'll obviously keep you up to date on air, online. Keep it tuned to 1011 for all of the latest forecast details. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, hope everyone has a nice Monday.